that I was getting clients without paying a single cent on advertising.
Oh, that's good.
Without paying a single cent on advertising. All because I've been spending so many years on building my personal brand.
Wow.
Out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was the magnet. And that's how I was getting clients.
Yep.
And I take them from point A to point B and say, wait a second, this is it. This is my jam. So I'm going to work on making it even bigger and stronger so it opens more opportunities for me. So slowly but surely, you start getting those things. Those are two ways, but there's many, many ways that you can cover those. And that's what I work with my clients. 9 out of 10 of my clients, that's their favorite part of the process.
Really? Wow, that's good. And that's what I tell my clients too, as a brand photographer, I want to capture what makes them unique.
Yes.
I want to because when everybody sees those photos all the time, like there's a lot of coaches now.
Yes.
What makes you different?
Yes.
What makes you unique? Why should someone say, I want to work with this person? So you really have to be your own authentic self. What I thought was interesting experience when I first started working full-time for myself. Now I had nobody to answer to, there was no deadlines, there was no project, and I was like, I think I'm just going to sleep all day. I really felt like I was just going to because it felt like I didn't have any constriction, if you will, restrictions, Today's episode is about taking the leap from your 9-to-5, your corporate job, into starting your own business. If you're getting any value in the show, please make sure you follow and rate us on audio platform, and also like and subscribe on YouTube, and also share. I would also like to get comments from you. So please let us know what we're doing good, what we need to improve on. And if you have any comments about this episode, please drop them because I would like to hear from you. Are you feeling stuck in your 9-to-5? Are you thinking about moving into starting your own business? Maybe you are like, is this entrepreneurship even worth trading my consistent paycheck for? Well, today's episode is going to answer all of that questions. As you might know, I recently transitioned into full-time in January, and look, I can tell you all about it. But I have a guest today here, which I am super excited about. J-Lo is in the house. Oh, yeah. After 23 years in the corporate world, she recently quit her job as the vice president of a Fortune 500 company. This woman is an amazing international speaker. She is an author of Amazon, best-selling author of the Intentional Unicorn book. Make sure you grab that. But she's also the owner of Intentional Unicorn, where she helps people find their superpower and what makes them authentic. Today, we're going to be talking about how and everything that went into her transitioning and what was going through her mind and what is the most important thing that you should be considering before you quit your job. So without much ado, let's get into it. Girl, I am so excited to have you. How are you doing?
You're excited? I am excited. And girl, this studio looks so beautiful.
Thank
I know
you.
we had these conversations before, but this is level up. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm really trying. But,
yes.
This is something that we've had a conversation before.
Yes.
I remember I was going to, was it that lobster place? I forgot the name of it. But in any case, we were
had lunch.
we were eating seafood. We were talking about what would it look like if if this was the only thing that we focused on?
Yes.
And then you did it.
I know, you did it first.
I got fired, but I was also planning it already, but you took the leap after 23 years and in such a high role too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me, what was maybe we start from before you transition, what were some of the things that was going through your mind?
Absolutely. Yes. And when we both were having lunch, remember, we both were doing both, which is insane. Yeah. When people say, hey, when you're an entrepreneur, it's busy. And you and I know we're busy. We know busy.
You know busy.
That's not a problem. So I started my company in 2020. Yes, I will say everybody in 2020 had a baby. I had my business. That was my baby.
Yeah.
And at that point, honestly, my mindset was, okay, you know what? I'm gonna start growing this. It's something I'm passionate about. And I'm going to retire early. I had already clarity at age 55. You get all the benefits of the corporate world, retiring and things like that. And then I'm going to bet on myself. That was the big plan. But one of the best things I've done is that even before that, I started investing on myself. Yes, upskilling. Upskilling business, leadership, financial. But you know what is the number one thing that people don't think about it?
Wow.
Mindset. Mindset. How many people say, oh, yeah, I've taken this certification, this training, and I'm ready. Have you been investing in your mindset?
Oh, that's true.
Because in success, it's 20% the tactics, the strategies, the things that you have to do. 80% is here.
Yeah. And it's different when you're in corporate versus when you have your own business.
Yes.
The mindset is completely different.
Yes.
You know, in corporate, like they pretty much tell you what to do. But as an entrepreneur,
yes,
you are the one making those decisions. So you have to have like really strong mindset and a goal of where you're trying to get to.
Absolutely. Clarity. And the mindset also is because it's hard.
Yeah.
You have to really have a deep passion and a big why, which I'm going to cover very soon on that one, to make you move forward no matter what, even when things don't go according to plan.
That's good.
But the mindset is almost like you are a bouncer of that brain and you're owning it. And when things don't go right, when you start doubting yourself, and when it's so easy to get back to the comfort zone, that mindset, because you've been working on it and cultivating, it's going to tell you, no, Jenny, you're going to move forward no matter what. That's the journey. You're learning, you're growing, you're going.
Wow.
So that, I'm so blessed because that has helped me a lot in this journey. Yes. So that's one thing, upskilling mindset. Now, the second thing I will say, this tool, a coach of mine, taught it to me about a year ago. I started exploring the idea, what about if it's not 55 years old? Why wait that long? Why not now? And I remember I went to Africa. For me, that was such an amazing experience. It was an unexpected trip. I went on it and I got this clarity that I said, I heard my name, almost like God was calling me.
Wow.
And I called after the Africa trip, I called my coach and say, I think this is it. Like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. And he said, hey, I got your back. Wow. But before that, I'm going to ask you something. What is your heart telling you? And I said, my heart is telling me it's time. And then he said, what is your gut telling you?
Ooh.
And that gut was like, Jenny, we're not ready. Jenny, what if we fail? Jenny, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. And then he said, you're not in alignment. For you to make such a big decision, your heart and your gut need to be in alignment.
Wow.
And I said, okay, you're right. I'm going to continue to working forward, grow the business, do my best job in the corporate world, and we'll see what happens. I'm telling you now, both of them are in such an amazing alignment. I'm at peace. I'm always a happy person.
Yeah, you are.
But I mean, even people are saying, this is even like a different level of happiness.
Yes.
And it's that freedom of creating and focusing on helping others. I don't trade this for anything.
That is amazing. I can even tell, like, the way you're talking, like, you're just so happy and free.
Yes. And then I'll tell you the number 3 thing that happened. And I think it's all about timing.
Okay.
In the corporate world, usually, at least in my case, every 2 to 3 years, it's almost like, what's next? What's next? And a lot of people will say, I can't wait to get rid of this, soul-sucking job. I hate corporate. That was not me. I actually love what I did.
Wow.
I love my career. I love my job. The last job I had has been the perfect one for me.
Wow.
My favorite one. So I was not in that category.
Wow.
But then it was like, what's next? And then I started exploring and I said, I don't know if I will love a job this much. And then I said, what about if the next rotation is me?
That is interesting.
It's not a job, it's me. And I had a great career.
Wow.
But it's not about me anymore. It was a big clarity. And then when I mentioned about getting to a deeper purpose, my kids.
Oh.
So my kids actually play both. I don't know if that happened to you. Maybe you're just a mom, super mom, I am, right? They're everything. They were the reason I started my business. But they were the reason why I hesitated.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to let them down, right? They are in dancing, they're in taekwondo, and it's not that I live a crazy lifestyle, but I want to support them.
Right.
So what if I let them down? But this is the thing about mindset. I was focusing on all the bad things. I say, what if I let them down? What if I don't get money? What if I don't get clients? What if I regret it? And then I said, Jenny, practice what you have been learning. What if it exceeds your expectations? What if now you can create even better experiences for your kids?
Wow.
And now my kids are both teenagers. This is the best time for them to see their mom crushing it out there.
I know, you took a whole trip after that.
and honestly, and seeing her betting on herself, knowing that there's different options, there's only one way, and that they're like a sponge. They're learning right now. So when I said, oh my goodness, this is the perfect time, I made the decision.
That is so cool. Wow. So when you tell me a little bit about how you dropped was it like your resignation letter? Like just go through that whole process with me.
Oh goodness. So I made my decision, yes. And then I needed to have the support of my husband because we are a unit at home.
That makes sense.
And I had that support. I'm like, okay, I can breathe. And then I started, it was on a Saturday. I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk to my boss on Monday. And I remember I texted her, actually on a Friday, I texted her like, hey, I need to meet with you on Monday. And she's used to me just like exchanging voice messages. It's not that I need her. She was my amazing support.
Right.
But she said, a meeting. Like that kind of triggered something on her. But I just, honestly, I even said the number one reason people leave their jobs is because of their supervisor.
Right.
This is not the reason.
Looks like everything is not the reason
it's
for
not
you,
the reason, yes.
Yeah.
Like she was the best supervisor I had, my best supporter.
That makes it harder, isn't it?
Yes. The team was the best team.
Oh my God.
So that decision was so difficult, but I poured my heart about where I was, where's my alignment, where do I see my biggest growth and my biggest impact at this point in my career.
Wow.
So she said, let's just meet at a coffee place. And then I said, I don't know if that's the right place to have this conversation. And then, so she grabbed my hand. I think she felt it. And she said, okay, let's go here. And then I said, I'm leaving. And her response was funny because it caught her off guard. She said, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. But, like, we're going to miss you, but I just see it. I see it, and I'm so happy for you. So we cried, we hugged, and yeah, it was a nice experience. Yeah. Same thing with my team was shocked because I had to also let them know. But then when I tell them, it's not that I'm going to another job, right? I'm betting on myself. Their expression changed, and they said, that's an inspiration.
Yeah.
You go.
Right. So, okay, I have to mention that you've been doing this as a side hustle before, right? You know, like growing your brand, like you said, you started in 2020.
Yes.
So, and I think most people also do something similar where like they don't just like quit and be like, well, I'm going to start a business. They kind of have an idea and, you know, but, you know, when you said that your team was shocked, I remember like, did they not see some of the activity? Because you were very open,
I am.
you know, on social media. I remember one time I was telling you, I was like, how do you handle doing all the stuff? Because I was worried about putting all the things that I did on LinkedIn because I was, I thought I had to separate my life. But you were like, just be yourself, you know? So like, how did you navigate that?
Yeah, I remember at some point when we first met, you said, well, I'm a project manager, I do this, and I don't know if I should put the photographer. And like, oh my goodness, yes, put it there. That's
I know,
you too.
I was so scared.
That's your superpower. And in mine, I still says I'm a dancer and all of that.
Yeah.
Well, every company works differently, and I work with legal and put a conflict of interest together.
Oh,
so that's something have been documented from the very beginning.
Oh, wow.
So I knew my guardrails. Was it hard? Yes. Because it's not black and white. And then you also have to deal with like perception of people.
Right.
Yes. And that's something you cannot control.
That's
so
true.
That took a little bit of my mental energy. But for me, it was like, okay, I'm doing it because of the people I want to help, and that trumped everything else.
That's right.
So that's how I did it in terms of doing the guideline. But then the business started to pick up, which is great. And like, okay, people need this message. I can help people.
Right.
And there's just so much time you have in a corporate world, right? Vacation. I was working Saturday, Sunday, all nights.
Yeah.
And I got to the point that I can, you know, some people say, when I get to this money or this income, revenue, profit, then I'll make the switch. I couldn't get to that number.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't have the time to scale it up.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that.
True, because you're still in the full time. I was going to ask you that question, like, how did you juggle the two? Because at some point, one of them is going to have to, like, take the back seat. And for me, I remember feeling bad about put in what I felt like was my best effort because I still wanted to build the business to a certain level. Like it was like I had to always choose.
Yes, yes. And for me, if I say yes to you, it's because I'm going to give you my 100%.
Absolutely.
So my corporate job, that was my number one.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Side business, then this is where I had to limit the number of clients I could take.
Right.
Yeah, I was not going for volume, I was going for quality.
That's good.
So that's why when I started a cohort, I was very open. I can only take this many clients.
That's good.
Because I want to give them 100+%.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense because I did it the other way around. It's like, well, I needed to prove to myself that I could make a certain amount of money before I can quit my job because I needed to, like photography. I mean, I feel like everybody could be a photographer. So I needed to make sure that this is a viable business.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And
yeah, absolutely. And you're right. So that's one of the things that I said when I put my first, well, actually I did 2 cohorts before the one that I have right now where I'm fully on that. But it was that proof of business. Does this work?
Okay.
Am I getting the outcomes? Are the people getting the outcomes that they want?
That's good.
And they were. I'm like, okay, this is great.
That's good.
So, and then the other thing is that I was getting clients without paying a single cent on advertising.
Oh, that's good.
Without paying a single cent on advertising. All because I've been spending so many years on building my personal brand.
Wow.
Out there.
Yeah.
That was the magnet. And that's how I was getting clients.
Yep.
And then my coach, I remember I have another coach. I'm all believer of coaches, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
So my coach said, if you're getting those clients, imagine if you go full in. You were just doing that, here and there on Saturday and Sunday. Imagine if you go full in advertising. And I said, okay, proof of concept. And then I'm going to go full in and it's going to happen.
Wow. That is incredible. And I like when you said about personal brand, because I strongly believe that your personal brand will build your business.
Yes.
So I have to tell you this. I met a couple of ladies and I gave them the magazine, which by the way, you're also in the magazine, at least in the first volume. I think it was like 5 ladies, and then you did an event where you emceed. I think it was Women Impact 100 or something like that.
Yes.
Oh, Jennie, you should see how many people came back texting me like, oh, I met Jennie. I saw Jennie. And I was like, okay. Like, that's the power of a personal brand, Jennie. Like, everybody was like, oh my God. And that you talk about that in this volume too, right? About being your authentic self.
Yes.
And that for me was so powerful because you have that name recognition.
Yes.
And it's because you built that before you even started your business.
Oh yeah, before I even thought I was gonna do a business in the future. Because some people know that in their heart since they are young. Oh, I was not one of those.
Wow.
For me, it was all career, and because that's all I knew. I didn't know anything else. And when I learned about this, I'm like, ooh, this is awesome because then now you can multiply your impact.
Wow.
But you have to be authentic in your personal brand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people see through that.
Yes.
And then your authenticity is what's gonna attract the right client.
Oh, yes.
And when you have your right client, magic happens.
Absolutely. Because people are looking to form that connection. People want to trust people, people, they want to work with people that they trust.
Yes.
So when they see a portion of you, like, I can connect with this person, I feel like she gets me, because you've showcased who you are authentically, like it's effortless.
Yes. And honestly, right now, I mean, sometimes it's really hard when you're starting cold calling or with somebody that you don't know. But everybody so far that has scheduled meetings with me just to get to know, right? We're not even talking about business. They say, oh yeah, I think I already know you, because that's how I show up in social media.
That is amazing. Wow. So now that you've done, you finally, because by the way, I have to mention that there was this huge party or like an event that you had with your group of, employees.
There were a few.
Really? Wow.
Is that, that make my heart really warm.
Yes.
Because that's whenever you realize, wow, that's the impact of 23 plus years of career.
Yeah.
Intentional career, not just a job. Because in addition to every job or role that I had a huge impact on the Latino community because that's where my heart was. Right. That's the stuff they don't pay you for that, right? You do it because you believe in it and you want that.
Yes.
So seeing that was beautiful. And the gifts I got, everything was so meaningful. My team, I'm going to share this with you just to inspire some people out there. they gave me this little, there were 4 boxes. And have you seen in TikTok those little like press-ons that say, actually, this is usually for dogs, that say treat or yes. No, you know which I'm talking about? So they gave me 4 where you can put like a custom message. And then the first one said, hey, press this whenever you doubt yourself. And then it was one of my employees who said, you got this, da, da, da. It was a motivational sentence. And then there was another one that said, press this when you want to know the impact you have had. And they had the whole team saying, thank you, Jennie. We will miss you.
Oh, my goodness.
And then it kept going. The last one made me cry. I was crying like a little baby because it said, press this whenever you need to remember what matters the most. They got my son, my daughter, and my husband to say, I love you, Mom. We believe in you. We're so proud of you, honey. You got this.
Oh, my goodness. That's the best gift ever.
I have them in my office. Yes, I cry like a little baby. So it's not just a gift. It's something that has truly meaning. Yeah. And you see the impact you've had on people.
That is incredible. Wow. I'm like having goosebumps right now.
Yes.
Wow. So you finally made the transition.
Yes.
And I know you've been like, where was your last trip?
Oh goodness! So we went to the Mediterranean to celebrate my new chapter, my husband's 50th birthday.
Okay.
And even for the kids, it was their first time in Europe, outside of the United States.
Okay.
There were so many firsts. It was beautiful. That was the last trip.
I love that.
Yes.
And I love how you shared that too, because people need to see, the other side of your life, to connect.
Yes.
That is amazing. I took a trip too when I, finally, got out of it. And we went to Hawaii. We were just like, I was just
yes,
like,
I remember that. Yeah, it was your birthday too, right?
I was like, I turned 40 and I was like, why not?
Yes.
And these are things that I felt like I couldn't do because I had to like think about so many things, or sometimes thinking about how much work I'm leaving behind and then coming back to, because sometimes you have so many emails that you have to deal with. But I just felt like my time at work, even though I enjoyed my job too, I absolutely love what I did. And I felt like I just needed to continue to give more and more. And I didn't give more to myself in a way,
Yes.
So when it was like freedom to just go.
Beautiful.
Just go. And I just was like, you know what, we're going to Hawaii. And it was my 40th birthday. So some first.
Yes.
And I lived in Hawaii, when I came as a student visa. So it was like going back and showing my kids where I went to school. So it was really nice too.
And you came recharged.
Yeah. I came recharged, ready to start.
Even, sometimes you have to like pause to get more momentum forward.
Yes.
Very similar to you, Victoria. When I made the decision, we already had the trip scheduled because it was my husband's birthday and all of that.
Right, okay.
And for a hot second, my husband and I said, I don't think this is the right thing to do right now because you don't have your job. And I said, no. We're celebrating years of work. Yeah. We are celebrating halfway. No, I don't want to say halfway. Oh my goodness, because hopefully we live more than 100 years.
Right.
But a really big milestone for you. We're giving this experience to our kids. They deserve it.
Yes.
And it was beautiful. That's amazing. And we need to celebrate the wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many times we are only focusing on the gap or the things that we don't have. Oh, but I'm not there yet. I go to clients, but not 10. No, celebrate the wins, the progress. That's really success, the progress.
That's amazing. Okay. So I have to ask you about, so I had what I thought was interesting experience when I first started working full-time for myself. Now I had nobody to answer to, like there was no deadlines, there was no project, and I was like, I think I'm just going to sleep all day. I really felt like I was just going to because it felt like I didn't have any constriction, if you will, restrictions,
Yes.
Like, did you feel that way? Like, how did you get yourself ready for being an entrepreneur, making all the decisions?
I was the opposite.
Oh, okay.
So, but I remember, so it was after this trip that we took, right, to Europe and the Mediterranean. And then we came back on a Monday, and Tuesday was my first official day of this new world. And I had this in mind that I'm going to kill it. I'm going to be working hard. I'm going to be doing all of this and creating magic. That day, I was just so jet lagged.
Oh.
And I was feeling like really bad. I was going to say like crap, but that's exactly how I felt. And no energy. I think I took 5 naps that day. And then I went on my scale. I gained 5 pounds.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
from the trip,
everything. And you know where your focus goes, energy flows.
Right.
I started feeling bad about myself. I started feeling very like brain foggy. I felt lazy. And then I said, ooh, what did I do? And I felt so bad. But you know what? Again, I've been training on my mindset. I say, Jennie, stand up.
Yes.
Let's journal about this. And I started journaling.
I love that.
And then I said, you know what? 4 or 5 pounds, you ate the most amazing food ever. You are very disciplined with your nutrition. Like, actually be thankful of that experience. You're going to get back to your normal routine in no time, right? The second one about being lazy or not focused, I didn't even prepare for that day. So why was I expecting to have this amazing day? I had no preparation whatsoever.
That's interesting.
And then the third one is grace. I just came back from this crazy trip and I didn't even schedule a day of just resting and recovering. And I always did that in the corporate world. When I went on a trip, I always scheduled the next day, no meetings to recharge. Why didn't I do that this time? When I did that, I was like, oh, wait a second. It's okay. It's okay. I learned, because that's what happens in a setback. You journal, get the learning, move forward.
Yeah.
And I'm very structured right now. So I plan my week on a Sunday. I plan I call it my needle movers. What are my top 3 things, 1 to 3 things that I have to do the next day?
Okay.
Because, the to-do list,
it's
you never get
ending.
to do everything,
Right.
right? What are the 3 needle movers? And those things are probably the most difficult ones because maybe you're like, oh, I don't want to make that call. Or like, oh, that takes time and energy. And I don't know if I'm going to feel like it. Well, schedule it and make it happen.
That's
and
good.
I'm very structured on my days.
I love that. So that's for who, those of you that are thinking like, oh, this is like, you have to have a structure and give yourself grace. Even if you don't have a structure yet, like get into that routine. And I think it's also good to start that structure before you actually take the leap too. Start giving yourself some kind of routine that you get used, because nobody's gonna, tell you to do something.
Yes.
It's all on you. You're the one making all the decisions and things like, so.
I love that. Can I share with you something I learned? So there is a program that I took many years ago, and I usually the trainings that I like, I take them again because there's new connections, right? So I just took it again, and they call it RPM. So R is for results, P is for purpose, and then M is for massive action. Okay. So in that training, what they do, I'm not going to give you the whole thing because we've been here like hours, but all the categories that are important in your life that you have goals, and include your husband, include your kids, right? Because nothing good comes from things that are stagnant. So from there it goes my health, right? The goals I have, my business, and there's different aspects of my, and then instead of saying, let's say, for example, I want to lose weight. No. Actually, you know what's the name of that one?
What?
Energetic goddess.
Ooh, I like that.
So you label them with like juicy words that make you excited about taking action towards that.
I love that.
So anyway.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Wow. So you talk a lot about having superpower and showcasing your superpower.
Yes.
I know that this is, you said it over and over again in this conversation. This is what helped you, build your personal brand and, basically your whole business right now.
Yes.
So what exactly is it to have a superpower? What is that mean?
Everybody has them. So these are the top 1, 2 to 3 things that you do so well that you're in personal alignment and you are in flow. Like time goes and you enjoy doing these things. Okay. Yes. Not all the strengths you have. All of us are go-getters. Especially if you're watching this podcast, you're a go-getter.
Yep.
But if you focus on everything, you're diluting yourself. So if you focus on the 1, 2, perhaps 3, no more, things that you do so well, and then you're intentional with it, you nurture them, you make them grow so bright that opportunities come to you. Instead of you saying, please pick me, right?
Yes.
Because that's what you do well. That is in line with you. You're not faking it. It's why you're kicking butt there, right? So those are the superpowers. For me, I would say the authenticity and this inclusive leadership that I have, that's one of them. My other superpower is that I'm really good at transforming organizations. So when I knew that and I realized that, I had that aha moment that's what allowed me to do two different career changes. Very drastic in my career, always growing.
Wow.
Because I was in manufacturing, then I went to the business, then I went to HR.
Wow, yeah.
It was because I had that superpower of transforming organizations. Yes. So that's the other one. So those are the things that you can like go build it and make it really bright. So you attract the right client, the right opportunities, the right partnerships, etc.
That's okay. So you said your first three things. And so what about those people that are like, I don't know, like, how do they even figure those things out?
Yeah, there are different ways. Actually, that's the best. I coach people on that. Yeah. So that's something I do. We go in a lot of depth. And the thing is that whenever you uncover it, then confidence arises. Because it's like, oh, wait a second, this is how I can help. This is what I bring to the table. And then they get more confident in how they show up in social media, in how they are very concise in interviews, in networking events.
Yes.
So people remember them. Otherwise, like when you're interviewing and you just say, well, I had this role and then I had this role and they had that, people are not going to remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
So there are different ways. Obviously, there's assessments, but that's a given. Everybody can go and like search my strengths. But I would say very, very keen on the things that come really natural to you, but they're so common sense for you that you don't even think it's a superpower. So I have a friend of mine that went through like a really bad time, tragedy in her life. And the way she coped was by writing. So she wrote these letters and then she said, can you read these? And I read them. And Victoria, they were the most beautiful things that I have ever read. From joy to sadness, laughs to tears, hope, everything. And I said, wow, you have a gift. I call it God's gift. And she said, what do you mean, Jennie? I just went to the computer and started writing the first thing that came to my mind. I said, nobody writes like this. Nobody, I don't even write like that. And I'm an author. That's your superpower. And then her eyes opened because she didn't even get it, right?
Why?
You can also think back about what are the things that usually people ask you for help. Or people ask you to be part of a group, to lead it or to be part of. And for the longest time in my career, they kept putting me in the worst performing teams. And I said, why are they punishing me? Like, what's going on? And then I said, no, wait a second. I have a track record of transforming organizations, yes? And I take them from point A to point B and say, wait a second, this is it. This is my jam. So I'm going to work on making it even bigger and stronger so it opens more opportunities for me. So slowly but surely, you start getting those things. Those are two ways, but there's many, many ways that you can uncover those. And that's why I work with my clients. 9 out of 10 of my clients, that's their favorite part of the process.
Really? Wow. That's good. That's good. And, as you were talking about that, I, again, just want to go back to something that you mentioned about how you didn't spend a dime on marketing, on ad.
Zero.
It was just you finding your superpower that's bringing all these clients to you, the connections to you. And look, if you're out there, there's multiple ways to market yourself, but this is a free and easy way, because honestly, marketing is a big part of, running a business, But when you are working in your strengths and you're being authentic to yourself and you're being true to your clients and helping and having results, it should, it automatically just flow naturally.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%, yes. And that and connected with a purpose, yes? Because otherwise it's really easy to say, ooh, I don't know if I want to post that in LinkedIn, or, ooh, I don't know if I want to say that because what will people say? What if did that? But my whole mission, I told you before even I thought I was going to start creating a business was I didn't want people to have to go through what I had to go through in my career to be successful. Yes. And I said, I'm going to be that role model that I didn't have. I want to normalize being authentic and being yourself at work and not having the pressure that you have to fit in a mold. Yeah. So I started being very outspoken in a motivational way, right? I'm not like in your face, like it or not.
Or rude.
Always empowering, but always eye-opening, right? Because I always give the people benefit of the doubt. Even the horrible things that I've been told in my career, I always felt like the other person perhaps wanted to really help me. And they thought helping me was to like mold me into this thing that they thought it was success because that's what success looked like before.
Yeah.
But the world is very different right now.
Right.
So I just started doing videos and then I would do it dancing.
I know.
Right? Which in LinkedIn, you don't see that.
Yeah.
You see that in Instagram or YouTube. People made fun of me. Like, why are you doing this? Actually, they will say, this is not TikTok. But, they have no idea how many people are like, oh, Thank you. I needed to hear this. I needed to see this. You brought a smile to my face.
Right.
That's why I'm doing it for those people. So that's I just was very consistent in how I show up doing the things that I love.
I love that. And we have to mention you were a cheerleader.
I was an NFL cheerleader and a professional dancer. Yeah,
right.
NFL
And then
cheerleader.
you have the ring to prove it too.
I do, not with me today, but yes.
Wow. So I love that. Like you've used a lot of your own experiences.
Yes.
You're bringing it back into what you do on a daily basis in your business.
Even if it doesn't fit the mold, that is the whole
Point.
purpose and point. Yes, don't fit the mold. Don't be vanilla. Be you.
That's right.
And if you is dancing, awesome. If you is photography, put all those pictures that you do with a mission and message. Yes, whatever that is.
Yeah, what makes you unique? Otherwise, you're just like the next person.
Yeah, you stand out.
Yeah, that's good.
And
That's
if you
so
want to
good.
help, because ultimately that's the purpose. If you want to help, you need to be noticed.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just a secret, or you're just get lost in
thing.
translation somewhere.
And that's what I tell my clients too, as a brand photographer, I want to capture what makes them unique.
Yes.
I want to because when everybody sees those photos all the time, like there's a lot of coaches now.
Yes.
What makes you different?
Yes.
What makes you unique? Why should someone say, I want to work with this person? So you really have to be your own authentic self. Like maybe you like dancing or, like let's take a photo of you dancing, like that, so I strongly, subscribe to that. Okay, I have to ask
and by
you.
the way, she does such a great job at that. So if you want professional pictures, she's the one who has taken all of my professional pictures.
Thank you
and
so much.
you just capture the moment and the essence of the person, and that is your gift. That's your God's gift.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Because I remember, like I was saying, it needed to make sense for me before I quit my job, and I know I needed to do something different than most other photographers. So for me, I really enjoyed the branding space, the marketing space, and I wanted to be able to help bring what makes people authentic out visually.
Yes.
So that for me, that was important. But
Awesome.
Okay, I have to ask you too. Now that you're doing this full time,
Yes.
how do you balance work and life?
Yes. I did it before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a fitness instructor. I had a family with kids that need you. Well, not you, me. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, they need me too. Mommy, mom. It's like,
yeah. I had a career. I had a business, right? So I always say that this is my thing, be choosy with your yeses.
Ooh.
That's what I always coach people. Be choosy with your yeses, because nothing that I do drains me. Everything I do for me is fun, is meaningful, is purposeful, and I don't see it as a job. I'm like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. So then I'm very intentional in how I orchestrate remember the categories that I told you? All of them make me so excited.
Yeah.
And I have goals and I have plans for each of them, and then I just start placing them on the calendar, yes? But for me, family has a big priority, yes? And this is where you cannot compare your journey with anybody else's.
Yes.
Because I'm an international professional speaker and motivational speaker,
Right.
and I see other people, and I'm like, ooh, sometimes you get in that trap, like, oh, I wish I was doing that. I wish I was like her or like him. But the reality is very different, right?
Yes.
Many of these people that I see traveling all the time, they don't have kids.
Right.
And it's fine. They have more flexibility. Beautiful. Right now, I'm not prioritizing that.
Right.
Yes, I'm prioritizing my kids. So be very, you have to understand what matters to you and what's your priority, not anybody else's.
Yeah, I like that. It's not a race against
No.
anyone. It's not a competition. You have to know what works for you,
Yes.
what your goals are. And
Yes.
however long it takes you to get there, you can control that,
Yes.
by not looking at, it's not a rat race,
Yes.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's all about learning and being the best person you can be, as long as you are always growing.
Yeah.
Because I see people, if I get that role, I'll be successful, or they focus on a money target, right? On a revenue target or whatever. But what's the meaning? Like, how are you gonna get? Why do you want that money target? What are you gonna do with it, right? So I don't know. You have to go through it because of the growing, because of the person you become when you get to that next role.
Wow. So what do you miss anything at all in your corporate life?
My team, for sure. I do miss them a lot. Sometimes I reply and they're like, I miss you. I miss you too. So I miss my team.
Wow, that's good.
That's it.
Wow. So is there anything that you would not trade? like in your entrepreneurial life, like what would you like? There's something that you're like, I would not trade this for anything else.
Now that I know better, my freedom. And it's not, people sometimes think that entrepreneurship, because what people show out there is like, the highlights and the experiences. They don't know. It's hard work.
It is hard work.
So it's not freedom about, I'm going to go and sleep all day, because I'm actually working way harder than I was working on my job, right? But I love what I do.
Yes.
And the freedom of choosing what to do with my time is priceless. I cannot put a word on that, a money target, nothing.
Yeah, right. That is so true. I feel the same way too. Like I tell myself every now and then, like, I don't think anybody could pay me however much money for me to go back to. And it's not because, again, I loved the job that I felt like I was making a difference in the drug development space.
Yes.
So it wasn't that, but I just, there's no amount of money that would make me go back.
Yes.
I really enjoy what I do now.
I know. Me too.
Yeah.
I didn't know it, Victoria, until now. Because you hear about it and like, yes, but I love my job. Like it is. But now I don't even know how to describe it.
It's just a different feeling.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's less black and white. So for the people who like certainty, and this is not it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because everything is like a roller coaster. But invest in yourself, in your mindset, in your purpose, and things will flow.
Yeah, I want to rehash that, because we need to be clear that, in entrepreneurship, it's not, like your paycheck is steady, and then maybe at the end of the year you get a bump, but there is a roller coaster, even in the finances too, depending on what's going on and all the things that you do. But it's important that, like you just said, you have to have a goal, you have to have a vision, you have to be passionate about what you do.
Yes.
And just stick to it too.
Yeah.
So
otherwise, it becomes another job,
No,
right?
that's true.
And one that doesn't come with a steady paycheck.
Right.
So why doing it?
And then it gets frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's good.
Exactly.
Wow. This has been so much fun.
Oh my gosh, I can talk to you. Like, I love, you have to subscribe to this podcast, because she has an ability to just have a dialogue that you forget that you're even in a podcast.
I know. We can continue all day, but I really enjoy, I was really looking forward to this. And thank you so much for coming on and just sharing your authenticity and, how people, we got to talk about that. How can people get in touch with you for you to help them find their superpower?
Thank you. I love it. So yes, you can find me in any social media under Intentional Unicorn, which is the title of my Amazon bestseller book. Yeah. And just so you remember, we all are unicorn, and instead of hiding that horn, let it shine bright, because that's whenever you do your best work. So you can find me in any social media, and then if you go to intentionalunicorn.com, you can see how I can best help you. I do a lot of keynote speaking and helping companies empower their employees to be and unleash that potential by being their best selves. I consult with companies to help also improving cultures, so that way you can bring the best of the people and help you with your company goals. And then last but not least, one-on-one, where we really go deep and I help you uncovering those superpowers, showing them with the world, and getting to your goals.
I love that. So we are going to put all of that details and contacts on how to reach Jennie in the description, the show notes. So make sure you get in touch with her, because look, if you're looking to transition into owning your own business, there's a lot of things to consider, like we've talked about, but knowing your superpower and knowing how to shine, let that shine brightly, is the number one way, I feel like, make it very easy and successful, and with the transition as well. So that's a wrap for today. I am so thankful that we had you on, Jennie.
Thank you.
So thankful. And please, if you got any value in today's episode, please like, subscribe, share, give us a rating. I would love to hear from you as well. And until then, remember that this is a personal decision. And if you need help, you know who to call. Until next time, see you.